Book description. Have you been thinking about your retirement lately? The idea must haunt you right away. Don't worry, you don't have to be scared at all. This book is going to change your life altogether, and you will be able to make the best plans for your retirement. The things that we have mentioned in this book include the reason why you should plan for your retirement in advance, what are individual retirement accounts and their detail, types of retirement plans that are present, commonest retirement mistakes that most people tend to make, what are the best places to retire in, why are these places considered amazing for retirement, the mistakes regarding retirement that you can avoid really easily, do's and don'ts of retirement planning. This and a lot more has been discussed in this book. I assure you that you are not going to regret buying this book at all, and in fact, you will be thankful to me for providing you with so many advices in one book. I hope that you have a good time while reading this book. Good luck to you. Introduction. Retirement is a standout amongst the most important life occasions that all of us will ever encounter. From both an individual and money-related point of view, understanding an agreeable retirement is an inconceivably broad process that takes sensible arranging and years of ingenuity. Indeed, even when the time has come, dealing with your retirement is a continuous obligation that conveys very much into one's brilliant years. While every one of us might want to resign serenely, the energy and time required in building an effective retirement arrangement can make the entire process appear to be out and out overwhelming. In any case, it should regularly be possible with less monetary pains than you may suspect. All it takes is a little homework, feasible reserve funds and venture arrangements, and a long duty haul. This is exactly what we are going to talk about in this book, and we are going to shower you with many advices. Just make sure you read everything carefully and follow the instructions properly. Only then will you get the benefit from this book. Let's not waste any more time and dig into the book to see what we have got in here for you. Chapter 1. Why should you plan for retirement? No matter how much we love working, a point will come when we have to retire and just enjoy the remaining years of life. When you retire, you wouldn't want to depend on anyone for your needs, not even on your children. This is the reason why it is much better to plan for your retirement in advance. There isn't much that you have to do, really. You just need to take small steps and to make sure that you are saving up for your retirement, and eventually you will have enough savings to just enjoy the rest of your life. Financial context. As I mentioned earlier, and you must already know it as well, according to the financial point of view, we just want you to allocate some savings for your retirement period so that you don't have to depend on anyone later on and you don't need to ask anyone for money. After working so hard all your life, you deserve to just relax and have all the fun in the world, don't you? Wouldn't you want to fulfill all the dreams that you couldn't pursue because you had too many responsibilities on you? If you think you will be too old to do all the stuff that you wanted to do then, you must know that age is just a number. Provided you have the right amount of resources, you can still do whatever you want to do. This is the reason why we are going to teach you how to save up so that you can enjoy an extraordinary lifestyle after retirement. Don't worry, I am going to take you with me step by step so that you move in the right direction. Goal of retirement planning. Like I explained earlier, the whole point is to make sure that you are financially independent even when you have retired and you don't work anymore. No matter how nice and sweet your kids are, they will have their own set of problems and things that they need to worry about. You wouldn't want to become a burden on them and rely on them financially. This is the aspect that retirement planning helps you with. Aims of retirement planning. The retirement planning aims at seeing whether or not the person has enough money to retire even. This is called checking the readiness to retirement. After assessing the conditions, the next step is to take actions to improve the situation and make the person get ready for retirement. Various steps can be taken in this regard. You also have to gain knowledge regarding financial planning in order to plan well for yourself. Once you have acquired enough knowledge, the next step is to encourage such practices that are going to help you in saving up. These precisely are the reasons why it is important for you to plan your retirement in advance. I am going to explain all the steps of retirement planning in sequence just for you. Just wait for the book to unfold. Chapter 2. Individual Retirement Accounts. Individual retirement accounts are, basically, some special individual retirement plans that are meant to provide some tax advantages to people for their retirement savings. A large number of financial institutions offer these individual retirement accounts that can be really helpful for the taxpayers in saving money for the latter part of their lives. There are different types of individual retirement accounts that are present here. That include traditional individual retirement accounts. The thing with a traditional individual retirement account is that whatever you contribute, it is going to be tax-free or tax-deductible. In simpler terms, you can explain it like money is going to be deposited before tax. The best thing about an IRA is that all the transactions that take place, as well as all the earnings, have absolutely no impact of the tax. All the withdrawals that take place at the age of retirement are also taxed as income. Among the individual retirement accounts, there are both deductible as well as non-deductible, depending on the nature of the contribution that has been made. Roth individual retirement accounts. This concept was introduced in 1997 under a Taxpayer Relief Act. Roth Jr. was the one who came up with the idea. In these accounts, all the contributions are being made with after-tax assets. There is absolutely no tax impact on all of the transactions made within the IRA. Even the withdrawals in these accounts are tax-free. These are a great help for retirement planning for the people who pay taxes. You must look into the details of this account if you want to save up sufficiently. My Retirement Account. This was an initiative taken by the Obama government in 2014. The whole point of this was to provide some relief to the retirement planners. The concept of this plan is based on and similar to the Roth Individual Retirement Plan. SEP Individual Retirement Accounts. This is a simple method in which someone who is running a small business or is self-employed is going to make his retirement plan contributions to the traditional individual retirement accounts. The account is being established in the employee's name rather than getting a pension fund in the company's name. The good thing about this plan is that you get your own account and you have more freedom to save as much as you wish to. Simple individual retirement accounts. This is yet another saving plan for the employees, but in this case there is a slight difference. The employer also plays a role in this, and every time an employee contributes something, employer matching contribution is also given. This requires comparatively simpler administration. Even though this also comes under the heading of individual retirement accounts, it is still treated separately. Next, I would like to brief you a little about how it all started and how these policies came into being. How it all started. This whole planning started in 1974 when the taxpayers were given some benefit in order to save something for later on. The idea was that taxpayers could give up to 15% of their annual income, or $1,500, whichever is less, as a contribution each year and reduce their taxable income. The contribution is then invested in a special United States special bond while paying approximately 6% interest, annuities that start paying upon reaching the age of 59 and a half. The initiative was extremely useful for all the people as it gave them the benefit of planning for their retirement. You don't have to depend on anyone when you have retired and get the maximum out of the leisure time that you are going to get. Chapter 3. Types of retirement plans. There are various types of retirement plans available, and you can choose according to your own convenience. I am going to mention the plans based on the very basics. There are primarily 4 different types of retirement plans that are present out there. Those include personal plans, annuities, government-sponsored plans, and employer-sponsored plans. Here in this chapter, we are going to talk about the employer-sponsored plan majorly, but let's mention the rest of the plans briefly as well. Government-sponsored plans. According to the country that you are living in, the government-sponsored plans vary, but the biggest government-sponsored plan so far is the Social Security plan. Personal plans. Next, the most prominent kind of personal plans are the individual retirement agreements, IRAs, that we have briefly explained earlier as well. These can come in various forms depending on the tax treatment. Annuities. Annuities are, basically, contracts that are being made with the insurance companies. There are various annuities, both variable and fixed. Employer-sponsored plans. Lastly, we have the employer-sponsored plans that we are going to discuss in detail. There are primarily 2 different types of employer-sponsored plans, qualified and non-qualified. Let's discuss these 2 types of plans in detail here. Qualified retirement plans. The good thing about this plan is that it offers a large number of benefits, like they let the employers deduct contributions annually for each employee. The earning that is being made on these contributions is completely tax-free until it is withdrawn by the employee. There are some taxes that can be further minimized if you transfer the money into a different type of individual retirement account. Non-qualified retirement plans. Non-qualified retirement plans are the ones that are different in a way that they do not meet the requirements put forward by the IRS regarding the code. Sometimes they don't match the ERISA requirements. Now, let's discuss these 2 basic plans in detail. We are going to discuss the qualified plans first and then the non-qualified ones. There are many different types of qualified plans available. Qualified plans. Let's discuss the major types of this plan. Defined benefit plans. Defined benefit plans are very large-scale ones that the company plans for each employee. The best example of these are the pension plans through which a retired employee gets a specific amount of money based on his salary that he has during the job time period. The years of service also matter in this case. These plans are perfect for people who have at least 20 years in retirement. Pension plans. Like I explained earlier, pension plans are the ones that guarantee a specific amount of money after the person has retired. Various factors contribute towards setting the amount of money that shall be paid, like the employee's salary, the number of years for which he has provided his services, and a fixed percentage rate. The eligibility for pension varies from company to company, as all of them have different criteria. Most of the companies offer pension after 65 years of age. Annuities. Annuities are defined benefit plans as well, in which there is a fixed monthly income that is given. The thing about annuities is that they can't be transferred to any other IRA account. The good thing here is that there are several options that you get in case of an annuity. There is an option through which the person is going to receive the money, and after his death, the spouse will get 50% of the money until their death. According to another option, the spouse can even receive 2/3 of the actual income or 100% of the actual plan until their death. You are being given all kinds of options. There is another option for getting the lump sum in which the complete payment will be given to the employee at the time of their retirement. Non-qualified retirement plans. These plans are different in a way that they are being funded by the employers and they are definitely more flexible, but the con is that they don't offer the tax benefits that the qualified plans do. At the age of retirement, the benefits are given and they are being taxed as well. Depending upon your choice, you can receive them in any way possible, starting from annuities to lump sum amount. It is totally up to you to choose according to whatever is convenient for you. Here in this chapter, we have mentioned 4 different types of retirement plans, out of which we have explained one in detail. You can decide which plan suits you the most by checking its pros and cons and then select one for yourself. I am going to help you in making this choice by taking you further from here. Chapter 4. Retirement mistakes that most people make. All of us are prone to making mistakes, and so there are a number of mistakes regarding retirement planning that a lot of people make. I am going to elaborate those mistakes here so you don't commit them also. They don't even plan. The first and most common mistake that is being made is that they just fail to plan altogether. By planning, we mean that you need to decide what place you will be living in and how much you need to save up for that. You also need to plan for any unforeseen mishap that can happen in old age, and then you need to save money up for that as well, so that when time comes, you don't have to depend on anyone. These and much more such things need planning in advance, which most people fail to do. This is what you need to make sure that you plan in advance. They underestimate their needs. What happens with most people is that they tend to underestimate their retirement needs. They think what is the maximum amount that it can cost to get a normal life started after retirement. You need to take it like you will totally be on your own. You might as well just suffer from some disease or any mishap might happen, and in that case you should have enough savings to bear all the expenses. All these aspects must be considered before you start to plan for your retirement, and then you must take steps accordingly. Overestimating the ability to work. Yes, it is true that generally people retire after a certain age, and that's what all of us plan for ourselves. The problem is that sometimes things don't really work the way you planned for them to. In situations like those, you regret not planning something in advance. This is why, right when you are starting your career, make sure you plan something for your retirement as well. They don't think ahead. Like I have mentioned in the previous chapters, there are certain retirement plans that focus on the fact that the spouse must be given at least some percentage of what the person was receiving in case he dies. While you are planning your retirement, you must make sure that you take this aspect into account. Most people simply just ignore it, but you need to understand that you have to consider the practical implications as well. What will happen to your family if the income stops coming after your death? You need to secure not only your own future, but also your family's future. Relying on others for advice. Yes, it is a goof to take advice from people, but you must know that they aren't probably fully aware of the pros and cons of the account that you seem interested, and there is a long list of the different types of retirement accounts available. You must consult a specialist for this purpose and do as much research on your own as possible. This is the only way that you will be able to make the right decision. Issues regarding 10% penalty. When you withdraw the money from your retirement account before the age of 59 and a half, you are not only liable to paying ordinary taxes, but also you have to pay 10% extra penalty for withdrawing money before getting to a certain age. Some people might misguide you and say that you can save yourself from this extra penalty by claiming that you are withdrawing money due to financial hardship. You must know that this is a lie. You will have to pay the ordinary tax as well as the extra hit if you withdraw money before the set age. Underestimating the risk of inflation. While inflation doesn't really affect people who are employed, once you enter the retirement period, it can be really devastating. You need to pay attention to this aspect while you are making the retirement plan so that you can choose the right kind of plan for yourself. The cost of living as well as medical care will increase with time, but inflation is going to affect this situation really badly. Precisely, we have mentioned some really common mistakes that most people tend to make while they are doing their retirement planning. You need to make sure that you don't make these mistakes at the very least. I am going to elaborate you further as well so that things get convenient for you. Chapter 5. The Best Places to Retire. After working so hard all your life, wouldn't you want to just sit back and relax in your favorite place? Everyone has the right to just go to their favorite place after retirement and settle there. I am going to make a list of the places that are best for retirement, and I will also explain why they are the best. France. For people who love the moderate climate and want to experience versatility in cultures, France is the best place to move. The healthcare system that they have is ranked number 1 in the world, but the retirees have to purchase private insurance. The real estate estimates that a lot of properties are available under $100,000, so if you are about to retire, then you should definitely consider it. What's better than being in France when you have all the leisure time in the world? Ecuador. Topping the list, Ecuador is by far the best place that you can choose to live in after your retirement. Along with the long list of things that are beautiful about this place, the people residing there are the most importantly warm and welcoming people that you will ever meet. Recently, Cuenca has been announced to be the best city to retire in the world. Considering in locality, Cuenca has a moderate temperature, and the best part is that the living cost there is minimal. On an average, you need to spend less than $17,000 per year. With the beautiful and appreciable architecture that it has kept safe for decades, this place is going to make you fall in love with it. This place should definitely be on your list when you are going through options to settle down after retirement. Costa Rica. With one of the highest life expectancy rates in the world, Costa Rica is one of the best choices to live in after retirement. Having world-class healthcare facilities, it is considered to be an amazing place. Even though generally it is thought of as a very expensive destination to move to, but for the retirees, the cost of living is much lower than what it is in most European countries in North America. For a sufficiently luxurious lifestyle, they need to spend around $1,000 to $2,000. With a prosperous economy and a legit history of strong democracy, Costa Rica flaunts its name in this list. Also, it would be unfair to not mention the amazing beaches that it has to offer. Brazil. Having nominated their first female president, and with the prosperous economic conditions, this country has a lot to offer. According to the survey done by IL, Brazil is one of the most economical places as compared to the rest of the tropical places. With the ever-increasing value of land, it can even turn out to be a great investment idea for you. Also, with the diverse culture and the changing panorama, including the Amazon basin, Brazil has a lot that you can explore and enjoy your retirement. Belize. Yes, it's true that Belize is known to be one of the more expensive places to live in, and we don't deny that, but it is still an amazing place to enjoy a luxurious lifestyle. The reason behind this is that it's just the real estate expenses that are higher than the other states. With an average couple spending $3,000 for a contented lifestyle in your own country, Belize still seems like a better option. With its perfect location on the Caribbean, just south of Mexico, Belize is filled with the soothing beaches that give more of a small-town feeling to the environment. Needless to say, the climate is simply breathtaking. Also, the banking system there has been classified favorable and a secure system for the foreign investors. If all those things aren't alluring for you, then you should know that Belize has started a program for the qualified retired persons through which they allow you to import goods from your country without levying any tax or fee on them. Also, they let you earn money from outside the country, again without imposing any tax on it. These altogether are the reasons for you to consider moving there. I have mentioned a really brief but luring list of places that you should consider moving to if you're planning your retirement. You have every right to enjoy the scenic beauty of these places and have all the fun in the world after a lifetime of hard work. Retirement planning mistakes you can avoid. In one of the chapters above, I have mentioned some common mistakes that people make while choosing their retirement plans. You need to be smart about things, and so I am going to mention some retirement planning mistakes that you can avoid really easily. I understand that just the thought of retiring probably gives you panic attacks, and mostly it happens because you think you won't be able to enjoy the same kind of luxurious lifestyle that you have right now, but guess what? That's not true. If you act a little sensibly, you will totally be able to fulfill all your dreams really easily. Let's check out some mistakes that you can very easily avoid. Mistake number 1, not estimating right. When people start planning their retirement, they just tend to think that they will hardly have any expenses during their retirement period. Of course, all of you want to maintain the same lifestyle that you currently have after your retirement as well. When you start to calculate how much money you will need to do so, you just somehow make the wrong assumptions. In case your estimated amount is too high, it will seem impossible for you to gather that much money, and you will leave the plan altogether after getting discouraged. If the estimate is too small, then you might have to face problems later on in life. The best solution to solve this problem is that you calculate 80% of your annual income, and that is what you need to save up for your retirement. This obviously is not a hard and fast rule, but that's what you need. You must start saving by keeping this rule in mind because, in order to have the same lifestyle as the one that you already have, you need to have this much money on you. In fact, the truth of the matter is that after retirement, you spend more money on just traveling to different places and having fun. This is why you must save up accordingly so that you don't have to worry later on. Mistake number 2, not taking healthcare costs into consideration. Another problem with people while they are planning for their retirement is that they just don't take the healthcare costs into account. You need to understand the costs increase every year, and you can't just calculate according to the current prices. You have to give some edge and save some extra money, otherwise you will stay helpless during the most vulnerable years of your age. You need to know what to expect from the future, and you must plan accordingly as well. This is how you can save yourself from the hassle of feeling trapped and helpless later on in life. Mistake number 3, lack of long-term care planning. It is true that taking care of an aging parent needs a lot of time, patience, and energy. Yes, you should expect your kids to take care of you once you have crossed 65, but sometimes circumstances are such that it is not possible for someone to be there to take care of you all of the time. In such situations, you need to get a private room or hire a private nurse who can take care of you 24/7. This can be more expensive than you can imagine. It is for situations like these that you are advised to keep some extra savings with you. Healthcare prices are sky high, and they will keep on increasing faster than the speed of infection itself, which is why you need to secure your future by keeping enough savings for this particular aspect alone. Mistake number 4, waiting for the right time. Most of us just believe in procrastinating in every single thing. If you want to start saving for your retirement, you don't have to wait for some right day to start doing so. You need to start off from the days of your youth so that you can start off from a very small level. This is how your savings will go up. You don't need to make sure that you start saving on a monthly basis. Don't make any drastic changes to your budget. Just make sure that you put a reasonable amount of money aside every month so that you don't have to stress over it once you are in your 40s. The best age to start doing so is your 20s because that is when you don't have a lot of responsibilities and you can save as much as you wish to. Mistake number 5, not updating the retirement plan. Lastly, people don't update their retirement plans with time. We all know that prices change with time, and market value of things also changes with time. Apart from that, maybe you had 1 child when you planned your retirement and now you have 3. In this case, you obviously need to change your retirement plan. You should develop the habit of updating it every now and then. This way you will be able to see how much more money is required or which strategies need some changes in them. All these things can be really helpful for you. Precisely, I have mentioned some really technical planning mistakes that can be overcome very easily, provided that you are interested in doing so. In the last chapter, I am going to explain some do's and don'ts of retirement planning. Chapter 7. Do's and don'ts of retirement planning. Like any other thing, there are some do's and don'ts of retirement planning as well that need to be considered. Here, I am going to mention them in detail for you so that you know the things that you must do and the ones that you need to stay away from. Do's. Firstly, you must plan for your retirement at least 10 to 12 years before the time comes. Don't at all procrastinate, otherwise things are going to get really stressful for you. You won't be able to cope up with all the anxiety that is going to come your way 1 year before retirement if you haven't planned already. You must keep a close eye on your expenses and stay away from any excessive spending habits that you may have. If you don't keep a check on your habits, then there is a chance you won't be able to save up as much as you need to. You have to monitor your monthly, yearly, and even decade-long expenses if you want to save yourself from facing trouble later on. You must understand the benefits that your company offers and try to incorporate them into your retirement plan in the best way possible. What happens with most people is that they want to retire before 65, but then they realize they don't have medical insurance in their hands, and there is still 3 years till Medicare starts supporting them. This is how they get in trouble for not planning things in advance. Plan your retirement in such a manner that you do something good for yourself and your community as well. You don't have to just go on a cruise and have fun. You must engage with the community as well, because this is how you are going to enjoy your retired life. Nobody wants to just go for vacations and do nothing else. You will start to feel useless after a while, and all the fun will go away. Of course, you should plan a vacation every now and then, but get engaged in activities as well. Don'ts. Every one of us cares for our children, and we want to give them the best of everything that we have, but this doesn't mean you need to go overboard with things. You don't have to overspend on your child's college. This is only going to make things difficult for you, and your retirement plan will get affected by this. You must make sure that you decide the amount of money that you can spend on your children for their college, and then tell them to find a college within that range. Don't get too generous. Yes, an excess of everything is bad. When you are retiring, it is good to spend on the people that you love and give them money, but the point is that you are not supposed to go overboard with that. You are not supposed to spend so much that you impoverish yourself just by recklessly spending on your children and grandchildren. This practice is wrong, and you must not adopt it at any cost. Do not expect to have everything planned perfectly. When you make a plan, you are basically just giving yourself an idea as to how things work and what you should do and what you should expect. This doesn't at all mean that things are going to go exactly the way you planned them to. In case something goes against your plan, don't start grieving over it or panic. Just think of a solution for it and always stay ready for any such thing that may come your way. Don't buy things just for the sake of buying. The salesperson will try to lure you into his trap as much as he can. It is you who needs to think smartly and not fall for it. Don't buy expensive automobiles that are not going to give you any more benefit than a normal car. Try to control yourself when you feel the urge to do something just for the sake of doing it. Don't let your children and grandchildren exhaust your resources and deplete your savings. You need to make them learn the art of minimizing the cost of things and live a life of moderation. Do you think you are doing them a favor by sending them to the overly expensive schools? No, that's not true. Your duty is just to make sure that they are learning well and becoming productive human beings for the society that can happen in a normal school as well. Don't live so grand today that you are unable to save anything for tomorrow. Who doesn't want to enjoy a luxurious lifestyle and make everyone get jealous? The thing here is that someone who lives moderately never fails in anything, and that is the rule that applies here as well. You have to make sure that you live moderately today so that you can save enough to enjoy the same kind of lifestyle later as well. Don't help people who don't have a chance of improving. Let's say you have a sibling who is going through a financial crisis because he lost his money in gambling, and you know he is not going to stop later as well. Then do you think you should lend them money? No, you shouldn't. As much as I understand your sentiments, it is still stupid because by doing so, you are just delaying the inevitable. They will never get better, and with that, they are going to take you down as well, so make sensible decisions when it comes to your money. To cap it all, we can say that retirement planning is particularly really essential for a secure future. You wouldn't want to depend on anyone later in life, which is why you should make the effort today. In this book, I have mentioned everything that was required for you to know in order to save enough for your retirement. I have mentioned the technical stuff as well that includes the various kinds of retirement plans that are available. I have given you enough reasons to understand why you should plan in advance, and I have also explained how you need to plan. Along with that, I have also mentioned the best places in the world for retirement and the reasons why they are considered the best. I have also enumerated some common retirement mistakes that most people make and how you can stay away from such mistakes. Lastly, I have mentioned some really important do's and don'ts of retirement planning that you must keep in mind so that you can get things done under control. I hope that you have enough knowledge by now. Good luck.